Now, when you think about all the foreign policy crises that are brewing around the world, China's new alliance with Russia, Iran, close to having a nuclear weapon, well, be comforted to know that Kamala could go from being one heartbeat away from the presidency to being our commander-in-chief. And her knowledge of Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union, well, after all, it's unparalleled.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that one. Joining me now, Tulsi Gabbard, former U.S. Congresswoman, Fox News contributor. Now, Tulsi, I'm thinking tonight, you're Vladimir Putin, okay? You're over there and you got all your stuff going on. But you're watching this spectacle play out in the representative democracy of the United States of America with Biden's people, just caught flat-footed on Sunday, and now that woman's on deck. What are you thinking?
I'm more interested, Laura, in what the American people are thinking. I've been seeing headline after headline saying, well, what is Kamala Harris's foreign policy going to be? And then you are reminded by these examples of how inexperienced and lacking of knowledge and strength that she is. So to answer that question, what kind of commander-in-chief will she be? What kind of foreign policy will she have? We simply need to look at the facts of what we've seen under the Biden-Harris administration. They are not running our foreign policy. Our foreign policy decisions are being made by unelected people in the military-industrial complex who are profiting from us being in a constant state of war, and the national security state that has more power to undermine our freedoms and liberties when we are in a state of war. Kamala Harris does not have the strength to stand up to the military-industrial complex, the national security state. So she's going to continue being a figurehead just like Joe Biden has been. And this is, Laura, this is where the clear choice is in this election. Donald Trump is strong. As commander-in-chief, he will take charge. He will stand up to the military-industrial complex and national security state. He will prevent us from getting into unnecessary wars and make decisions that actually serve the best interests of the American people and our own security.
Well, we keep hearing about how great Kamala is, how historic she is, but then we ask people on the street about it, Tulsi. Watch.
What would you say she has accomplished as vice president?
Not a lot. Not a lot, to be quite honest with you. Somebody knows, they could tell me, because I don't know.
Yeah. I actually don't know. I'm just going to put that out there. I have no idea.
What has she accomplished? Absolutely nothing.
Well, look, I mean, she has some fans out there. I mean, a lot of independent voters will look at her. African-American women, I think, will be very interested in this candidacy. But it's the old puppet Biden and the new puppet Kamala. Goodbye, old puppet. Hello, new puppet.
That's exactly right, Laura. And I just really hope that people pay attention to the truth. And again, she actually does have a record over these past 3.5 years as part of the partner to President Biden in this administration. Obviously the most glaring example is she was tasked with securing the border. She failed completely at that task. And you look at every single example of what she could have done as vice president and that she failed to do, failing to serve the interests of the American people, revealing yet again why we, the people, regardless of political party, we, the people, should not allow her to be in this position as president and commander-in-chief, one in which she is clearly incapable of filling and would be very dangerous in that position.
Tulsi, great to see you, as always. Thanks so much. All right, coming up, we have new details on how the coup unfolded against Biden, and that's with former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. Okay, a lot of inquiring minds out there wondering, how was Biden's ouster from the campaign actually engineered? Well, according to Politico, Nancy Pelosi made clear that the Bidens could do this the easy way or the hard way. She gave him 3 weeks of the easy way, and it was about to be the hard way. Joining us now, Rod Blagojevich, former governor of Illinois. Rod, good to see you tonight. Wow. This sounds like she made Biden an offer he couldn't refuse.
Well, it's funny she's not from Chicago, but there's a lot of Chicago politics in what just happened to President Biden. Obama is an expert at it. He learned well. Both Obama and I came up in Chicago politics. I've known him since 1995. We rose up together, and then I was brought to ruin by that kind of politics. And it's the politics of lies. It's the politics of manipulation. It's the politics of backstabbing. And it all comes out of the back room. And, you know, today's new Democrat political bosses are not the cigar-chomping guy with the pinky ring. They are now, you know, impressive-looking, appealing people like Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama, because they did this to him. There's no question about it. I know exactly what they did and how they did it, and I saw it coming weeks in advance. The only mistake I made was I thought Biden would have the fortitude and the backbone to resist that and not quit. But not everybody's like Donald Trump.
Yeah, what do you think they might have said to him? I mean, they've known the polls have been pretty grim for a long time, so I'm not buying the we showed him a binder full of polls. I don't buy that. I think there was something else involved here. When the Obamas or the Pelosi, when they're involved, it's not as straightforward.
Well, whatever skeletons in the closet that Joe Biden has, and my suspicion is he's got closets full because he's been in politics and been in Washington since 1973. Pelosi knows them. Obama knows them. They vetted him. Obama's presidential campaign did. So they got all the dirt on Biden, and my guess is that that stuff was whispered to him, either directly or through third parties. It was probably whispered to Jill Biden, maybe even to the son. So on the one hand, they used the stick. On the other hand, they used the carrot. And the carrot is probably all kinds of things that they promised him if he agreed to quietly step out and get out of the way and get out of the race. And what they did basically, Laura, is they've committed a fraud on Democratic voters. They made suckers out of the 14 million Democrat primary voters who voted for Biden. And so this is another. Yes.
But Rod, I have to say, Kamala Harris, she came out today, shows up at Biden headquarters. This is what she said.
What kind of country do we want to live in? A country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law?
Yes!
Or a country of chaos, fear, and hate?
Chaos.
All right, guys. So, and I've been saying the same thing, that they must have put some kind of intense pressure on Biden to get him to drop out, because he was adamant that he's not dropping out. But, of course, he did. And, you apply enough pressure, you apply it in the right place, you can make things happen. What worries me is Kamala, because she's the one that's tasked with securing the border, right? Which was the biggest failure of Joe Biden's administration. I think Kamala is dangerous, especially if she were elected to be our next commander-in-chief of the military. Biden was bad. Kamala, much, much worse. Compared to Kamala, Biden was a moderate. If Kamala wins, we'll be wishing for the days that Joe Biden was running the country. Kamala without Biden is a radical movement ready to disrupt America like no one ever before. The good thing is that Kamala will probably push undecided and moderate voters away because she's radical. Worst case scenario, she wins. The good news, though, is I don't think she can beat Trump. It's too late, guys. It's too late. She's too radical. And just like they just said, they're cheating their voters. They voted for Joe Biden. They wanted Joe Biden. Now they're going to push Kamala right here at the end. I think it might be too little, too late. If they wanted Joe Biden out, they should have done this months ago. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to send it back to y'all. What do you think, guys? Do you think that Joe Biden or Kamala is worse? I'm curious to know your thoughts. Leave it down in the chat or leave a comment. Guys, Jesse Watters Primetime's coming up next. So I'm going to end the stream, and I'll be back with another video covering that. So leave a like, hit that thumbs up button. It helps out the stream. And leave a comment down below. Subscribe, and I'll see you.